welcome to part 3. We've got lots of work to do, so we shall get started. We're going to try to finish this up as the best that we can today, hopefully. So I am going to go into my purples, that gray purple, and I'm going to work on this little flower here. Now, first of all, I want to get some of these a little bit better in here. Okay. There should be another one right about here. I'm going to put that there. Okay, so let's get some of these in with our gray purple. Okay, and then some of these like kind of cross over. So, and they're in front of the wheel here. In front. And we're just making little they remind me of little teardrops. Just little teardrops to come over here on this one. Little teardrops. Get some to go over this way. Okay, now we're going to get a little dark. So what I'm going to do is mix some of my Payne's Gray, some of my Cobalt Blue. Let's get like a bluish purple color here and put in that purple just to kind of darken it up a bit. It kind of grays it down, but that's okay too. We want a little bit of dark in some of these areas here. Right in here probably. I don't know if that's going to be dark enough. It doesn't look like it is. Let's see. Maybe we'll just go into straight Payne's Gray to give that little edge on some of these. Okay, I'm going to rinse that out. Get some paper towels here. And we'll get some white and kind of just make some little areas on our purple here. Right in there. All right. Let's see if I can make a deep purple here. I want to get that a little darker, just to kind of give it a little bit of a, that we know that that's dark. That is shadow in here, little shadows. There we go. That's good. And we could add a little white on some of these also here. Like in here, we could have a little dab of white. A little bit here. Possibly right in here. Okay, now we're going to put some green in. And I'm just going to use my oxide green and just kind of fill in some of these areas. And I actually might even go over some of this, put more purpley flowers in. I really need some dark. I need a little bit of dark in some of these areas here. Maybe have to put a little light in there also. Let's get a little piece of light in and around right here. Let's just put one of those in there. Possibly just a tad right there. Okay, I want to get some more of the purpley flowers in. Maybe a purpley blue. Kind of make that a little bit more purpley blue. Just kind of like giving it a little bit of a variation here. Okay, that's neat. Okay, a little bit more of my white. And I'm using my number 2 brush, by the way. A little bit more of that purpley blue. I like that right in here. Okay, that looks pretty nice. Alright, so I want to get a little of my raw sienna, and I'm going to make this right here. Add a little green to that. Get a little yellow and white, a little green, some of my phthalo green. I want to kind of grab a little bit of light here on some of these. I'm just going to touch it a little bit. That's not exactly how I wanted it. All right, let's see. We're just going to add a little bit of these to the top parts of some of this. Nothing crazy, just to give it a little bit of sunshine. Then this one I'm going to like kind of put my phthalo green right here. That looks nice. Kind of gives it a little bit of pizzazz. Little pizzazz in here. Okay. So it stands out a little bit more. We're going to put some grasses in throughout this, but you know, at least that way it shows up. All right, let's get some more of our little pieces here. We're pretty close to done here. We're just getting, this one's going to be a lot bigger, and there's actually one behind it also, right here. So we might get some light onto that. You don't have to go crazy with these, you know, you're just trying to get a little bit of an idea that these are lupins. And they get closer as they go up. Here's some over here too. As they go up, they get a little lighter, and it becomes more white. Get some of that dark blue. Let's see. Okay, that's a lupin. I'm going to hit some white in there. Lots of white up and through here. So we had to get a little bit more purple in through that. Now, hopefully I don't go over, a couple hours on this, because I don't like to have too much of a time period on my videos, because then no one will watch them. So that's why I kind of split this up, so that you'd want to watch a little bit more of it, and it's not so boring. Okay, there's some purple. Just gonna dip my brush in some of that purple, kind of just shade this a little if I can, make it kind of interesting there. Just stick it in the white again. Some white. I wiped my brush off there. Okay. These have that white. Actually, should be more like on top, but okay, let's see here. A little dark right here. Couple white ones in through there. Okay, let me get the white things. Well, actually, I'm going to put some green, and I'm just using my oxide green, still using number 2. Wet my brush a bit. Get that a little bit less, there we go. Because they come up, it's kind of weird how they come up. They come up almost rounded at the top here. They're pretty big. They're pretty tall. Okay, I'm going to do that with this one also, because it's tall and round. And this just gives me an idea like where I'm going to stick my white part. But it comes up like this, and it's rounded. I'm just tapping that in there. Now I'm going to go into my white. Well, see, I can actually use some white and green together, like a light pale color. You gotta watch, because that background there, I might have to change that somewhat, because it almost matches up with this. Well, as a matter of fact, I think it does. Well, once I put the white in there, it'll be okay. Now this one is just loaded with flowers, so I want to get that other one here also. This one. And there's a little brown, some brown in through here also. Okay. All right, let me get back into my pale purple here. some of the raw sienna. I'm just making little C strokes. It's nothing, you know, crazy or anything. Just a little bit of this on top. Just kind of like to separate some of that, and then I'm going to stick white in there also. Just an indication that that's a little bit of a, it kind of just gets green there, you know, I mean, or brown. Okay, so now these little ones here, they come down, they're very tiny, and I'm going to just try to get that white in there. Let's see. Comes down like in a V. So they come down like this. A little bit of white up on top. Very tiny, very tiny. Little V. Comes down. Like that. And that probably is the same thing up here. It's a little larger, but the V does come down, and top kind of white, a little bit here and there, so kind of break that up at the top here. Okay, let's see. Okay, back in here, I want to change some of this here. I want to get this here. This needs to be more green. I mean, it just needs to be taken out. I might put a few rocks back here. I'm going to add those back in because I think that'll make it a little bit nicer back there, just kind of to break it up. They don't have to be huge rocks, but it would be nice to kind of break them up a little bit. Okay, let's get more of these flowers into this. Let's see. I'm going into my gray purple again. Just putting it alongside of some of these. Some white in there, I think. Be nice. Get some white ones in. Because this one has a lot of white little toppers on here. Like that. Like they're going to bloom into something here. And then just some little white little flowers in through out. I think some people call these bluebells too, if I'm not mistaken. You could correct me if I'm wrong. But maybe people know that more, like with that kind of name instead of lupin. A little bit of that purpley thing in here, just a tad to shade it in. Okay. Okay, I'm going to put something right in here. And I think this might need some white here. It's not as big as this one here, but let's see. Kind of neat how these are little tops into these real cute little things. Alright, let's see here now. I'm going to get some of that green. Well, actually, I'd like to get some of that brownish stuff in there, but I think we'll keep with the green, phthalo green. Just kind of get that in there in between some of this. Might have to go a little lighter here so it stands out. Maybe with some yellow. Get that yellow in there. These are loaded, so I got to get more of those flowers in there. Okay, I wanted to just, while I'm looking at this, right here needs to be colored in. Painted it in there. Okay. So that green, yellow green. Alright, I'm going to work on those lupins some more. Okay, but before I do that, I want to use my raw umber. I want to get, let's see here. I want to get right here, there's that lupin. So I got to get a little something coming down from that, so it knows that there's a okay. I'll get some of my raw sienna, just kind of like give it a little highlight there. Same with this one, highlight. I got lots of work there. I gotta still make a little, some of those little, whatever those are that are growing. some of these have like a little twist to them. So you're going to make like a little S pattern. I kind of have that little S curve. Let's see here if we can get one of those in here. Okay. Maybe stick one here. There, we're going to need some dark to fill some of this in, because it has to fill in. It's got to be all filled in. So let's see what we can do here. If and we can fill this in. With some darker color or darker paint here. Darker tones. Get that looking. We're going to get that one up on top of that. Okay, wiping that off, going into my white. Alright, I think that looks pretty good. We just have to get a little bit of background in there now. And I think I'm going to go with a very pale, a yellow-green to get in them in between. Just so that it perks things up a little bit. To get away from the dull color. The darker shades, you know. You want to kind of have a little bit of highlights going in the back here to pop those out. Dear. And you can leave some of that brown showing through too, you know, like our background that we put in here, because that kind of gives it a little bit of its color as well, because the Lupins do have some green in them. So it just kind of finishes up the look. Whoops. Sorry about that. Hopefully you can still see what I'm doing here. Okay, I'm going to mix some of my phthalo green, and I'm going to see if I can get some of those little plants that are in here to show up. Okay, so we're going to put a little bit of our cad yellow on top to give it a little bit of a highlight. We actually could add a little white to that also, just kind of giving it a little bit of highlight. We want that to show up. There we go. Green. And they're all different shades of plants through here, so you know it doesn't matter if it's a little darker because they are different. They're all different. All different in through here. This is coming up. Just a piece of grass. It's just coming up from here. Kind of just giving it a little oomph here. Little oomph. I'm going to make that a little darker underneath there, like this one here, and on a little darker shade. Just coming up through there. Okay. Okay, let's get a little bit of the umber, the raw sienna, I'm sorry, and let's put some of Oh, let's see. Just kind of like tapping some of that in there where it's a little shallow in the, getting some of that through there. Same through here. You need a little bit through this area. Okay. And some of these little, I'm going to wet this down a little bit, get a little, when you're doing your leaves and things, you kind of want some variation. So, see how I did it over here? Well, let's get some of that in here too, because we want some of that grasses that are just a tad darker or brown to come through. Okay. Now you start out with your brush flat and then you kind of like go over that away. Just twist it. Twist your brush. And we just know that's a little blade of grass. It's a little different than the other ones. Okay? Kind of goes through that. Okay, I'm going to get my Payne's Gray here. Just keep tripping that up. Okay, let's kind of just get this a little stronger through here. Let me just make that a little darker too. Just like a dark green in through here. Because it is in the shadow here. So we need to get that really dark that you don't see the actual wheel because it's being covered by those bushes. Alright. Now, we've got this one to do. Let's see here, we got that other one to do, and then those little flowers. We got a lot to do here today, and hopefully we can get this completed, I'm hoping. All the other ones seem to be all white, just kind of going up here like that. Like kind of like angled. Oh, let's see here. A little bit of purple in the middle. Okay. So I want to get a little purple in some of the middles of these, if possible. Yeah, make it darker so we can get it through there. Like that. Okay, like this, like that. possibly here. Just kind of like come down here. We're going to add that white on to top of that so it's not so dull. Just like highlight it a bit. Highlights. Get those a little lighter so they show. Want them to show up. Okay. I don't know if you can see these. Guess that's just as good as I'm going to get those. Fix this one. I like the way that is. Put one down here like that, maybe. Cover that one. Get it a little darker. Okay, let's see, there's some green in through there also. This is very greenish, this stem here. So I'm going to make it dark to start out with. Then I'm going to put some umber on it. Just to kind of give it a little bit more depth here. Maybe some of this raw umber. It's kind of like giving it a little pizzazz. Like the others. Okay. Rinsing out my brush. And I'm just stepping back here a minute. Alright, let's get this lupin in. So I got most of my darks in. Here's a lupin piece right here. There's a real light one right here. There's something here. Top of that one. Here. This one here is like right here. And there's some real dark ones in here. So I'm gonna go with that, like dark here. Real dark in here. Actually a dark one in here also. And right here. Okay. Some of these are just really dark. Okay, now let's see, let's get some white on there. Okay, right here, it's white. There's a little piece right here. Okay. Something here, something right here, there's something right here also. Okay, then these have some really big pieces of white in there. Okay. Little dab of white in there. Okay. That one's not a big aggressive piece. It's because it goes up into this flower up here. Now, let me see. Let's see if I can get some white, some yellow, and some phthalo green. Just kind of a light piece. And see if I can put one of those little floral things, whatever these are here. I think they're part of the bottom part of these. Now this is going to be bright, but then we're going to fix it. I just want to get it in there so I know I have to put it in. Okay, that could be a little bit bigger, I think. I think these are pretty big here. And there's one that comes over here. Goes in behind some of this. And goes down here. Okay. And there's something that comes over this way. And there's one that's here. Now, going into my yellow and some white with green. Okay, let's see here now. And it seems like they're just outlined in the color. Nothing just outlined here. A little different. There is a light here. This is lighter. Okay, and there is one that comes over here that's lighter. And then it kind of just blends with that. Just blends in. So let's get some of that dark. Just kind of, that's the light part. This is the dark part here. Same here. This is dark. Then it's kind of a dark piece that comes here. So we want to get that darker. And what I'm doing is just using my Payne's gray with that. So it comes up dark. Okay. I'm gonna rinse this out. And I am going to put my center in here. That's sort of like a green yellow. So I'm gonna use my phthalo green and my yellow. Just tap that in there. Tap it in. Then on the bottom, it's got a little bit of this shade of raw umber. Just kind of like tapping that in. Same here. This is kind of like, I'm going to tap it in and then put my yellow green color in there on top of it. Okay. All right, now let's see. I am going to go over some of this. I think what I want to do is get some of the sky holes in there, because some of this is like they've got some sky holes in. So first of all, I'm going to use my oxide green, kind of just see if I can get a couple plants in here, just slight little things that come up. Kind of just go different ways. Get some of those in there. And they have like little somethings on top of them. Alright, get some more of that oxide green. Just give it more. Oh, that's neat. Okay, that's fine. I'm just going very, very lightly on that. And I'm just going to tap in some more of these little, I don't know what they are in that. That kind of just gives it a little bit of like greenery up there. Well, I'm going to see if I can make some of that blue that I had. I'm going to rinse out my brush. I think I'm going to get a new piece of paper, because this one's getting kind of messy. I'm going to get another piece of palette paper. Alright, so a new piece of palette paper. Running out of space on there. Okay, so I'm going to use some cerulean blue. And actually I had that pink in there. Let me use the pink. I'm going to use the Naphthol Crimson. Get some of that out. I think I still have some left. Yeah. Not much, but I do have some left. And some of my white. Okay, get some little sky holes in there so it, okay, so that was pink. So I'm going to just grab my white and put a dot of that color in there. Not a lot, it's still, and your sky holes are usually a tad darker than your sky. So, got my sky hole color. We're going to just stick a couple of these in here. Let's see. There's some in through here. Right in here, it's kind of like very thin. I'm not sure what's happening there, but just stick a couple of that in there. Kind of like that. And put some down in here. Just to give it a little bit of a, that it looks like there's bushes in here, and that the sky hole, and I'm going to put some long grasses in here too, but this way it doesn't look like it's just one chunk. Like here we got a nice little sky hole here, get that one in there. Up through here it's kind of light anyway, so I think we'll be fine, but I guess it wouldn't hurt to put a couple in through here just to give it a little bit of a punch here. Okay, so now let's get some more of those nice, I'm going to put some more of my oxide green. Actually, I'm going to use this one. We didn't use this one yet. It's called Phthalo Yellow Green, and this is a Grumbacher. I think maybe we could use that for some of those grasses up in there. And I'm going to get a, let's see if I have one, a small thin brush. Okay, this one I'm going to use, and I'm going to get some water and kind of just make that like an ink-like consistency. Just get some of these in here, these grasses. Just kind of like going up in there, kind of giving it a little push. Little push. Because these are long, tall grasses. And I think I'm going to get some of my, let's see, phthalo green. Put that out because I'd like to have a little bit of everything in here. Little mixture of everything. Kind of mix that up with that green. You really want that to be wet so it doesn't look too dry. You don't have to put a lot in here. You just want that indication that there are grasses and they're growing through here. Even through here. And I'm holding my brush back so that I can just get them flicked on here and there, just putting them in. I still think I want to get some rocks in there, so I still might be putting those in. Nothing fancy here, nothing fancy, just kind of letting loose here. I'm going to get some of my raw sienna. And that was the Basics raw sienna. Can put some of those colors in there too. Some of those grasses aren't, some grasses just aren't all green. Some kind of have that dark. Okay. And here we want some grass around that. Maybe some up in through here too, just to kind of make it look a little bit more like there's grasses in here also. Okay, got a few in there. We'll keep doing some more. Just want to get some dark. Let's see. Right in here, there's some dark ones here. And they have like little tops on them. So let's get some of those on there. Tops. Just like over here. Okay. Okay. And I am going to get a little white. And my raw sienna. That's a little green. I'm going to put it right in here because it's like a highlight right here. Okay. Maybe just a tad more highlight. There. Okay. Okay, and need my Payne's Gray. Payne's Gray. Here we go. Payne's Gray. Okay. Before I use that, I'm going to put this down and see if this takes it. Oh yeah, that's what I want. Alright, that's good. Alright, so let's see now. We got to work a little bit more on some of our lupins. So I'm putting the gray purple out. I'm going to mix a little bit of gray purple and Payne's gray. Get it dark here. And give a little distinction between flowers here. It's not dark enough. Okay. Little distinction here. That looks nice. Alright, let's see if we can get some nice white in there, and that'll help to pop that out some. Let's see. I'm gonna get this. Like that. Okay, we need a little dark in here. Just so that it can show up. Yeah, that's nice now. Like that. Okay, okay, very good. Let's get some of this white up and through here so it shows. These little things that come down in there. There you go. All right. Nice. Very good. Okay, I'm going to put a little bit more white on this so that this kind of shows that this is actually another part and it's not this one, because it's hard to tell right now. Okay, and we'll put a little darker in here and one over here. Kind of darken it up maybe, because it's kind of being shadowed a little. piece. Okay, there we go. This one's just crossing over here. So let's see if we can get that to look like it's crossing over. Okay, there. All right. We're getting there. We're getting there. I think I'm liking it. What do you guys think? Love to hear your opinions on this. Because this is a tough painting. This is not an easy painting. This is a tough one. So, let's see here. Rinse that out. Let's see if I can put a couple little rocks back in there. Just to see if they will show up and be decent. So I've got my raw umber. And I'm going to use my number 6 bright. We're just going to put this, not just, we don't want these rocks to be big because like the last time when I put them in, they were too big and boy, I got told they look like a mountain. So we don't want a mountain in here, but we just want a couple little rocks, okay? Just a couple, not a lot. Okay, and maybe just a teeny weeny one right here, was right there. Okay, now I'm going to go into my white and a little bit of Payne's Gray. With my umber. Let's see if I can just get a little bit of a highlight on some of these. Just a tad of a highlight. Nothing fancy. Just doing it very lightly. Very lightly. Okay. Rocks aren't that hard, but you have to be careful that you don't over blend them. So there, got that one in. Alright, so I got a couple little rocks in here. We're going to put some greens around that also. So let me get some of my cad yellow. And we'll mix some green in with that. I'm just going real light right now. Real light. So I can get them over the rocks. Put some dark ones in too. Get some dark ones. This way it looks kind of realistic. Get some more of that yellow. Them like as if the sun was shining on them. Just a few little pieces of that. Just tap them, little things on top. I mean, you can make little flowers too. You know, you could put little, make it look like little flowers around here. Little wild flowers. can just stick a couple little flowers on there. I'll just use my red Naphthol Crimson. And just touch them. Just touch. And it'll look like little flowers there. You know? Add a little white. And just tap it in there. Go on top. There we go, a couple little flowers, wildflowers. Okay. This is coming along. All right. A few little things here as we start, or that I looked at. I was looking at this, and this was a little bit too large, so I just put a little bit of light in there, but I am going to make it a little lighter. And then there's something else I also noticed. I'm going to mix a little bit of my Payne's Gray with some of my Cobalt Blue. I want to make a part of this right here. It's a little shadowed, so I'm just going to kind of darken that a little. I think it goes like that, kind of down. But this was shadowed, and I wanted to make sure that gets a little darker. Just so it looks a little different from the rest. Then the other thing that I noticed with the Wheelbarrow is right in here there's some brown that comes down, because right here where those flowers were, it kind of has a little bit of a crossbar. So there's some dark brown in there, so I'm going to put some of my raw umber out on my palette. And I'm going to put that in there too. A couple little things as we start to focus on getting this done. That's about right here. And it's probably something like this that comes over also, you know, like it's part of that. Okay. All right. So I'm going to focus on some of this being a little lighter through here, some lighter areas, and I am going to mix. Well, I'm going to use this again, my phthalo green, yellow green, and put that out on my palette also, and get some of that lighter, that light in there. Just kind of tapping it in here. Should be a little lighter in through here. Maybe in through here a little bit too. Just kind of tapping it in. There's going to be some growth coming from some of this, so I'm just going to kind of like bring it up. Kind of to just give it a little bit of a shade difference here. Alright. In through there it's a little bit of the brownish shade, so just going to keep it that way. I'm going to move this over here so I can work on it. Just bringing this down around. Sort of like that, kind of like a nice shade of green and brown, and we're just going to mix that up a little. I'm going to get some of these blended in here. Okay. All right, let's work on some of this. I'm gonna get some of my brown and white. Now we have to work on our little floral piece, these couple pieces of floral. You know what, I want to get a little bit of a lighter color also on my rocks there. What are you doing, Sally? Yeah, you can't mix that up. She's funny sometimes. A little bit of white, a little bit of my raw umber. Kind of make it just a little lighter on top there. Just to give it a little bit of a highlight, just a tad here. So we know that those rocks are in there. Alright. Okay, now, let's see. Put that in, clean my brush here. Okay, I want to make some, I'm going to put more white out on my palette. I've kind of run out of my titanium white from Grumbacher, so I'm going to use my basics. Okay, basics white. Any kind of titanium white is fine, because I want to get that some of that. I'm going to use my raw sienna, mix it, kind of tap some of this in here just to get some lightness in here. And I'm going to put some of the green in too, but I don't want to cover up too much of my ideas there where my florals are. Let's see, maybe get some of my oxide green oxide out. Actually, no, I think I'll just use my phthalo green. I think I have more of this. I want some of that darkness in there. Oh, that might not be too good. I don't like the way that's coming out. Alright, I have Hooker's Green hue. I'm going to use this just to get, I don't want that brightness. I want it kind of dulled down a little bit because I'm using such a dull. This will be good. I think this will work. This will work. Yeah, this is nice here. Just kind of, because I'm going to be going over this a little bit too. Wipe that off. Just going around some of these lupins. But I want it a little lighter over here, and I'll be going over these again. I just want it a little lighter over here so some of that shows up better. Kind of making it a little. Be putting in leaves through here that grow on the lupins. kind of like that, like it looks like dirt there, and there is, in the picture, there is some dirt, so we want to make sure we get that covered, you know, like as dirt. And we can glaze this also. And I like some of that, you know, tint showing through that we did with our background, which is always nice as well. You know, you want to keep some of that in there. Oh, my poor Sally's having a hard time getting comfortable, huh? Yeah, she's trying to lay down here and get comfy. So, I hope this is straight enough that you can see it. It's my camera angle isn't too good here. I have to figure out how to place that so that you can see really well. I mean, you can see me painting, but can you see me that what I'm doing here? Let's see if I can adjust this so that you can see a little bit better. Oh, right there. Let's see if that's any better. Oh, Sally, all right. Okay. Now you can see I'm just tapping in this because I want a texture here because it's dirt. So I'm just trying to get that texture in. And a little bit of the straight raw umber here. Or raw sienna. I think that's good. Kind of just giving it that little dirt texture. But there is dirt. And then our leaves are going to kind of like help to get that looking a little better. Now I have all these tones in my brush, which kind of helps to mix it too. I don't wash my brush out every time. That gives it a little bit of oomph. And as we get down towards the bottom here, we're getting darker, so that's what we're wanting too. I'm mixing a little bit of my green, Hooker's green, with my raw umber because I want this darker down here. Lighter up in the sky area. Try to get some of that lighter. I'm going to get some of that lighter up in there too. All right. Let's see here now. Just put this in. So you can see that. See, it shows up much better. And a little bit of Hooker's green and my light green here, just to kind of fill that in a little bit. It kind of has some of that green on the stem too, so all right. Now while that's drying, I'm going to work on this loop in here. I'm going to get my smaller number 2 flat, go into my purple gray, and put some of these in here. Okay. I'm using a photograph just to see where the lights and the darks are. So I'm going to go with my darker purple that I mixed with my Payne's gray. With a little bit of my cobalt blue in there. And let's see here now. There's like a shadowy piece right here. Just This might like to be dark enough. Let's see if that's a little bit better. Okay, there's this darker piece right here. There's a piece that comes off of that, like up here, and it's dark somewhat. Now, I gotta get that piece out of there because it doesn't belong. Okay. There's a little piece right here. There's a piece here. Okay, I'm just putting the under part in here. Right here, there's something. Here. Right here. Okay. Right in here. There's quite a bit going on right in here. And there's one that comes up like that. This one. Oops. I'm gonna kind of want to fix this one right here. That's the way it goes. Little pieces of dark in through some of these right up in here. Now I have to put some of that stem in there too because it goes up through there, so I'm just going to get some of that dark through here. And this kind of all goes up and meets this flower right here, so I'm going to make sure get that too, where it's meeting up there, that it continues to go up that way. So let's get some of that dark. It will be under a shaded kind of piece here. Alright, so there's something right here. And also right here, it kind of goes like that. Okay. Alright. I think I want to change this. I'm going to get rid of this one here. And I want to put some dark in here, right here. There's a little bit of a dark spot. Okay. And then it kind of gets real close. I'm going to have to add some white in that. But I am going to get rid of that one part there. I don't like that there. So let's see here if we can get rid of it. Right in here. Just put some light. Just blend it up. Just give it a little, like there's some things going on in there. Just blend that a little bit better. that nice beige. It's my raw sienna and white. But the texture, I want to kind of have that like a rolling little piece there. So I'm going to get some of my Hooker's green here. I'm going to get some little, and just have it roll down in here. Even though that's a little lighter, I just want to have it kind of like rolling down, like that's like a little transitioning. Okay, and just wiping it real lightly. More grasses are going to be in through here anyway, so. Mixture. Ooh, too much white. Too much white. Dirt like areas of dirt. Okay. Alright, so let's get back to our little flowers. I'm going to put a little bit more white. I'm going to get some of that. Where's, oh, here it is. I do still have it on my palette. Let me rinse this out. A little bit more white. And I'm going to make these a little brighter. Now that we got this dry. Comes down sort of like in V's shaped. These little cones that come up. Okay, now let's get some light, I'm going to lighten up my gray purple a bit with some white. Because I need to have some real big contrasts here. Let's see, there's one that comes over here. And this one comes like this. Okay. This one just kind of touches it. Same with this one, touch. These are like just touches. This one comes up and down like that. Same here, this is like a little swoosh and then another swoosh. A little larger than that though. This is a swoosh, another swoosh, and just the topping there. Okay, right here, there's like a little thing that comes there. This one comes like that. Okay. And there's a little swoosh right there. And just little taps of these in here. Nothing crazy, just little tappies. There's one right here, okay? And okay, let's get some whites in. Now these whites look a little green, so I am going to mix some white and just a little touch of my yellow green, just a touch. I don't have much on my brush. You want this to be more white than green. But it just looks like there's some in here, so. There's the V here. Okay. The one that comes around like that. I'll just, there's one here. There's one that kind of goes like this. And then there's these little pieces right in here. Little touch right here. Little touch here. Okay, there's some touches right here. Okay. There's one that's here. And then there's one that's here. Okay, so kind of how this one has some touches too, but I think we have pretty good the way that this should be. One right there. As it goes down, just a few little ones here. There's not much happening, kind of like as it goes down. Okay. Okay. And I think I'm just going to get rid of this one here because they're kind of narrow. I'm going to get rid of a couple of these because I just don't like the way that they're looking. So I'm just going to kind of paint over this like that. This one also, just get rid of it. And I'll put some white in it, just get it away from it. I think that's better. Get some of my brown here, my raw sienna. Kind of like that color in through here. Just kind of blend that with the green. There. Okay, so now we're going to get some of those leaves in. Now I have to have some darker greens. So I am going to mix some of my Hooker's green and my Payne's gray. Get some more Payne's gray out on my palette. Okay, so I'm going to mix some Payne's Gray and Hooker's Green because I want some really dark leaves in here. And then there's some light ones too, but I want to get some of these dark ones here. Right here, there's a dark one. It's just part of the dark though. It's not all dark because some of the light comes off of that. Maybe through here, a little dark leaf. Kind of goes underneath that one. Dark here. Okay. Just look at my picture here, my photograph here. Okay. And you know what? It's kind of weird, but there's like a little stem that comes out of here. So I'm just going to kind of put that in there. Gets covered up, but I'm just going to brown it a little bit more here. I don't want it so light because it's a kind of distractive. Get some more of that dark green. Yeah, this one comes around here like that. And I think right here, these are all kind of dark here. So I'm going to darken this one up a little bit. Just so that we know that that's kind of shaded. Okay, and we can put some of our nice Hooker's Green on top of it, so it doesn't look funny. Same here. I want to get that not so bright, just kind of like give it a
I
little...
don't know how to set to that setting.
Oops, I don't know why that came on. Actually, this one is pretty big, so I'm going to come up with this just a little bit more big. Get that in there. And there's one that comes up in here, so I'm going to actually do that one also. Get that, and it just comes down in there. Leaf. Make this look a little bit more realistic. Also, this one is kind of big also. This comes off almost off the palette, off the canvas. So let's get that bigger. They grow pretty big, these I guess these are all part of the lupin leaf. Okay, let's get a little bit of the brown, Hooker's Green, not brown, but so I can just take that one off the palette there, off the canvas. Alright, so let's get a lighter green to go on top, kind of give it a little bit of a color here. Underneath, for some reason, is where the color is. It's kind of strange. this one, it's all pretty light. But it has like a big turn here. They all come in here very close to the, this one's kind of light too. These are dark, so we're just going to touch it a little bit. There we go. Okay. Then there's just a little slight little piece of yellow in the middle. Nothing crazy, just a little bit of yellow right there. It's like where it meets, I guess. So, okay, so let's see. Let's get another leaf in here that comes over this way. So it's just going to go right on top of this. Right on top. Then underneath. We don't see that part. So let's just curve that a little. And then this way. This one comes down from that, kind of just overlaps it. Okay. So let's just make this a little darker, just a tad, so we know it's getting overlapped. A little difficult, right? Just a tad difficult, this painting. Okay, more of the hooker's green. And it's gonna go right on top. Right here. It's gonna be right on top here. Another one that comes over here, right over and off the canvas. And then there's these two big yellow pieces in there, so I'm going to put those in. Right here there's like a circle of yellow, not sure what these are, and one right here. So we're going to need a leaf that goes off of here, just so it looks like there's a leaf there. Okay, right in the center of this, just a tad darker. That's it, like that. Then this one, these two have lighter centers because they're on top. I'm going to get those in too. Just an indication that they're there. Okay? Alright, now let's get this one behind here. Okay, we do definitely have longer ones there. So let's see here. Let's get our hooker's green again. And make this come up just down like that. This one's fine, but it has like a little piece here. And then there's this piece that comes down this way, and it's dark. So I'll pick up a little bit of my Payne's Gray and make that dark. And this one has like, it comes up like that. Also like this. Okay, so that's going to be covering that in there. Okay, now let's get some of the lighter green. And there's one that comes up and down. Up. Okay, so let's see here. I don't know where that is. Okay, let's just get this in. There's one that comes up like this. It's not on that. And then it comes down like that. Okay. Let's get that a little darker and then we can lighten up. Oh, actually, it's dark under here. There's a little piece of light there. And let's see. Okay, let's go in some of this. Just get that a little darker in there. Bigger brush here and blend that a bit better. Okay, so there's some more of these large pieces that come into this. So let's get some of those. Here. There. There's this one that goes down here. Right. Light to this. Let's kind of give it a little green here. And a little light on this one. As it comes off of here, it gets lighter. Okay. A little bit more light onto this. Oh no, can't do that. Okay, this one's light. This one is. Some light onto that one. Okay. Now let's bring this one up a bit. Let's bring this up. Okay, like that. And let it come down like that. Okay. Okay. There we go. Now I still want to get a little bit more light on this here. So I'm going to use some yellow. Just my CAD yellow here. I want that light in there. Okay. Now there's a bunch of grasses in there, so I'm going to put some grasses in too. I'm just using my dark. I mean, there's so much going on in here. It's like, wow, you know. And it's really hard to kind of like get all that because you don't know what's what, but I'm going to go like this. Just indicate that there's grasses in there. Just a few. Kind of make some lighter ones. I don't know that people wouldn't even know that this is grass here. There's a lot of foliage in there. And okay, I'm going to make this a little darker so it stands out here. We want this to be looking like a leaf. It's from this plant. Okay. Okay. Now let me get that brown back in here. And then there's grasses that go around that, so or leaves, I don't know. I'm going to put some dark ones in. And I think I'm going to mix that Hooker's green with a little bit of my raw umber just to get some dark, because I want some of these things to show dark. And there might be another one of those little things that way. Well, let me do this first. Let's bring this down. These are so tall, these lupins. Very tall. Hopefully you can see what I'm doing. I'm hoping. Yeah, I guess you can. So, okay. So these lupins are very tall. And kind of interesting because, like I said, they can grow up to 9 feet. I don't know that we have something like that in our country, but I know in Mexico, it's they do grow to be about 9 feet. Interesting, isn't it? That they could grow so tall. Okay, now we'll get some of these darker leaves that are right in through here, because some of these other ones are kind of growing over this. So let's get some of that darker green. Okay. This is going to probably be a long video because I want to get this done so we can move on to other things. I have a couple little things I want to do for Valentine's Day coming up. Get that coming out. Oh, what else we got? Well, Valentine's Day basically. A couple little things we can do for that. Okay, let's see here. Let's see. Well, that might be just enough right there. I don't know. I know that seems like a little shadow, but I think that that will be good. I think that's good. Let's put a little of those dark pieces in through here, just to indicate that the grasses they have some darkness in here too. And I think what I want to do is just kind of wet that a little bit, so it's easier to see when I put those other things in. Okay. These are the grasses. Okay, now let's see. When I put some green in, and I'll get some of that light green, add a little yellow because I want that to be lighter so that you can see that this is grass. That the grass grew here really good. I can put one up here. We're going to put some through here too. But I want to get those other flowers in now. Okay, let's get some of these flowers in. Now the flowers have like a little bit of a greenish tinge to them. And I'm going to use my number 6. Rinse it out. I'm going to use my yellow, cad yellow. Pour that out. And just a touch of the green in it. Just a touch of green. Let's see. Let's see. All right. Let's put the yellow down first. Let's get the yellow in here. Now here, we just have to fill it in there. This is kind of like what we want. There's like this one here, which is kind of rounded. So I'm going to have to use a little white in there because it's so opaque. I mean, so translucent. And we want this to come down and around here, like that. Put a little white in here too. Like that. Okay. And this piece, I'll get that. Now this one here is kind of weird the way it's shaped. I'm going to get a little bit of my umber, my raw sienna, I'm sorry. Get that all mixed up all the time. Kind of making a yellow ochre almost. Add a little white. And right here, kind of dark. And it comes down. And then the yellow green, little white to this. The yellow green is right in the midst of this here. Right in here. And there's a tad of white comes off here. Now I'm not rinsing out my brush at all, so I just want you to be aware of that it's not getting moist out. I'm going to blend this. I'm just wiping it out. Blend that up. And then it's real dark in here, so I'm going to get my raw sienna. Okay. Let's see if I can get that to do that. Now it's sort of, oops, sort of like an S curve. So let me get my littler brush, my smaller one, that number 2. Rinse that up pretty good. Okay. And kind of get this in here. And it comes up like that. Okay. Okay, let me get my yellow back in there again, so I can blend it. It's a brighter yellow. So I'm going to add a little bit of white to my yellow. And it has that little bit of green in there, but I'm going to like, okay, put just a touch of that in there. Have that little touch in there. Not much. Don't overly green it. Okay, now let's see here. Get this. I want this a little larger too. Just make it a little bit bigger. And let's see here. I think I want that a little bigger too. It's not large enough. It came up here. Okay. Now, that little speck of white. I want to make it like, okay, let's see. It comes up like this, off of the leaf, and it comes right up into that. But I think it starts down here, and then it comes down, and then there's more yellow towards the center. So right in here it becomes more yellow. So we may have to wait until that dries a bit so I can get that in there. Yellow is so transparent, and it's very sometimes hard to cover up. So you have to be very careful. And then right in here, where it comes up, sort of like a curve, comes over and down, just like that. And then this is lighter right in here, and it is light here. Okay, now this here, it needs some work. Not happy with that. So I'm going to get my umber, my sienna I mean, and add a little bit of my light green. Okay, so I think this comes like this, then down like that, and there is more yellow towards that center as well. So I'm going to get some of my white and yellow together. Mix it, and like right in here we have that mixed. I probably will have to add a little bit more of that to this because it is much lighter. Much lighter. And then right on the tip there we have the white. So right in here sort of comes down into a V. That's light. Comes up like that. All right, so underneath here we have to paint that. Right here is another little flower kind of thing. It's like a pod. I guess it's like in a bloom here. So I'm going to get this in. Okay. And there's one right here. So I'll put that in also. It's just right here. Okay. All right. So this one up here is a little tough one. Okay, now behind that is another leaf. I mean another petal. So behind this little thing is a petal. So I'm going to get that in. That I'm going to start out with some white, with some green, white and green, and that comes right under here. And then this has to kind of like dry a bit before I can make the yellow piece on top. But it is kind of dark, so maybe what we could do is put some of our raw sienna in there because it's darker in through here. Then once this gets a little bit of dryness here, we can add the yellow. Okay, okay, let's see here now. Okay, so this here, that little piece has the green yellow. Get some more of that yellow in here. It's pretty green because it's not bloomed yet, so it's just kind of like that. All right, let's see if we can get some of this yellow in here too. Just get that in there. Then we can always go back over this again, which we will do. And I'm going to get some of that greenish shades in behind that. Let's see here. Let's get this right in here. Light. Well, that stem's got to be there. We're going to be putting some grasses and some stems that come in there. So we've got a few little stems we have to get in. And there's a couple more of those little little balls, like, you know, that are starting to bloom. So let's see here. I'm going to get one that comes behind it. It's just a stem. It comes down, 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 and through. I'm going to put some of that green in there also. And I'm going to put some light green for this because I kind of got that messed up. So should be kind of like that. I guess we can. Okay, let's put that little piece of dark green. So you're doing your little pod things, and they're just like little pieces of, and I'm just making little taps in there, little taps. Okay, and there's one that comes out on this, so it's kind of interesting. And then you go in, there's white, so I'm going to go into my white, and it's just kind of circular in here. But see, with the green, it kind of just like mixes, and it gives you that little, what a greenish thing that's, it looks like it's starting to bloom, you know, and it's kind of still green. And I'm just going to add a little piece of brown in there, okay, like that. All right, let's see. Behind that is a leaf, and it's sort of a different shape, so I'm going to put that in also. It's a different shape from the other ones that we have. It kind of is more rounded. I got onto that, but it comes over here, and it's like that. It's more of a round leaf. And I'm not sure where it's coming from, but I think we could just go over it like that. Let me put a little yellow mixture in there. Okay, let's see. Something like in here, a little yellow. Let's get a little white and yellow. And a little dark and light in here. Dark and light. Okay. We'll lighten it up back there a little bit more, because I think it needs to be lightened up a little bit more. So that stands out some. Not being too crazy. I'll just put that back in. Okay, let's see here now. Just put that stem back in there. Well, we're almost done. I can tell you that. It's been enjoyable, this painting. So if you'd like to support me, you know, I have various places that you can go. I have a Patreon site, and I'm going to actually put up a link to my PayPal, so that if you do decide that you would like to, this has to have a stem too, so I'm just going to put that one coming down here. You know, support me so that I can continue these lessons. Things are getting a little more difficult, like everybody else. I know everybody's suffering right now, so but if you could see your way through it, I would really appreciate it. Paints are not cheap, and unfortunately it can get expensive. Alright, so let's put this one in up here. Okay, so that, I'm going to put a little bit of my yellow and my raw umber together. Sort of makes a little bit like it's a yellow ochre. Okay, so we're going to kind of put this like this. Okay. And then it comes up a little bit with some green. It's like a greenish brown. Well, maybe I'll just add a little green to my yellow, and then I'll have that green and brown in there, and comes up like that. Because there is stuff here, there is some color on here. Then this comes over. It's kind of interesting how that works here. So let's bring this down a little bit more. Come over like that, and then there's a little teeny lip here, little lip here and a lip there. Okay, so I'm going to put a little bit more of my umber in this because too much light is coming through, and I just want to make sure that I have that I can see it. And then there's a lip that comes here. So, all right, so let's get that real bright now. Rinse this out, and I am going to put white and yellow because the yellow is so transparent, and I want some bright yellow. And let's see, that's fine. This one here I am going to make like this, because that's going to come over a little bit more like that. Bit more, okay. This is going to come out like that. Okay. And then this is going to come down from here like that. And there is a little bit of this that comes over, because it's coming out of that, but this is a little tricky here. Okay, I'm going to have to do a little work here. And then this one also kind of comes down like this, comes in on that flower, so it kind of weaves on down from that. But this part, oh yoy, as I'm looking at it, it's coming up a little bit more. The lip comes here, and then it comes down like that. And I think the key with this is that this part right here has to come down a little bit more. like that. There's a little bit of stuff that is happening right there. Now behind that there's a flower, so I got to take that other stuff out because I don't want that in there. I don't want that other flower in there. Right in there, there's that blue. I got to make that little bit of orchid. So let me get some white. Just a touch of my blue because that blue is very strong. Just a touch of that in my paint. A little bit more white in there. Okay, let's see here. Okay. Now I have to get that up there. It's a little purpley, but I also have to get a little bit tad of this in there because it does have a little bit of that blue. Okay. And my purple with white. Purple and white. Very light, very light. Okay, now the other thing here that I'm noticing is that has a little bit of green right in here, and it comes down like that. So it comes over that. And let's get some white in there. Let me rinse out my brush because you really need some white in a couple of these splotches here. Right in here so it knows that we're coming off of that. There's some right here, and right in here there's a little bit of white. Okay, just blend it so it looks a little natural. This I'm going to make a little bit darker. Now that it's a little dry, I can get that in there. This shouldn't be so bright. I want to get a little bit more yellow in there, only because it's not that, this has to come down. It's very, very small there. Actually, I'm going to make that a little greener, a little bit greener here. I think I can. Just a tad of the green here. So it kind of separates that a bit. This is kind of a greener color also. Alright, and the yellow comes up here. I want that to show that it's yellow. Alright. Alright, let me get that stem in there. So it is sort of a greenish brown, so I'm going to go with green first, because these are kind of dark here, and I got to lighten those up a bit too. Just kind of green it first. It gets lost in here somewhere. Okay, lost it. Kind of green up some of this, so it's not so dark. Same with that one. And let's see. Okay, let's get this a little bit more green on this one. And then right in on the edge of that, there's some yellow. So I want to get that yellow in there. There we go. So it looks like it's going to bloom. Okay. Oh, you know what? We got to put a stem for this thing that's coming up. So it's just going to come down here like that. Right down there. Okay. Oh, let's see. Make that brown. Get some brown with this so it doesn't look so crazy looking. Just take your time. Put your little finger down and it'll work. And just blend it a little bit. Just blend it in. Okay, I'm going to take a little drink of water, step back. It's looking nice. Now notice I have this sort of like on an angle. That's what I want. And then this kind of twirls a little bit. Now I'm going to try to get some more of these little branches to go over, little buds, because I want the viewer to be able to come back and go around the picture. That's important. You want to keep the viewer in your picture, your painting. So let's see if I can get some more of these little branchy things in there. There's all kinds of little wild things growing in this painting. Let's see. Okay, let me get some dark brown. That's that raw umber. And right here, I'm going to add one of these things. I don't know. It's kind of like one of these kinds of things up here. Okay. Once that dries, then I can add a little couple dots of white. I'm going to get green and brown, my green and brown mixture, and from here just kind of like give a might not show up too well here. Let's see if I can get that a little darker. Okay. And we're going to put some grasses in around out this one here. I want to get this a little darker so it shows up a bit more, because it just is looking, it's not going to even show up. Once I get those grasses in too, it'll kind of help a little bit, because I didn't bring everything all the way over here. Let's get a little white, a little of my raw sienna. If you get a little tired through this painting to finish this up, by all means you can stop it and let me get the other one. Stop it and take a rest. You don't have to constantly be doing this painting. It's not meant to be like that. Raw sienna here. You want to enjoy doing this. You don't want to get tired and bored. And I know it's a long painting, but it has to be done. And I don't want to go into another part, you know what I mean? I'm going to put grasses in here, so. Okay, let's get some white on that little thing here. It's kind of like, okay, it goes in here like that. And there's these little things that grow out of it. I'm just tapping my brush on it. I get more brown on my brush here. Tap some more in there. Because it really doesn't have a whole lot of those, whatever those are. Let me get more white. So I can get this more rounded here. There. Okay, now let's get some grasses in there. I'm going to use a small detail brush. This one, I think we used this before. I'm going to wet it. I'm going to start out with some dark green, kind of get this looking pretty wet, you know, like an ink-like consistency. Hope this one works because some of these okay. Now I'm just going to kind of come up, just sticking them in. And they can be light. They don't have to be dark. Just kind of giving me the idea and impression that there's some grasses in here. Through the back area. Now I'm going to go into my lighter green. Do the same kind of thing here. Getting it all wet, nice and wet. Just kind of like giving more this impression of grasses. I have to get a new one of these. I don't like the way this is working, but I don't have any other kind, so kind of have to stick with this, but I have to get a better one of these. Just to get that so it looks like there's little grasses growing in through here. And I'm going to actually put some through here also, because there should be like grasses growing around our wheelbarrow. More of these in here. Kind of just splits up and then it doesn't want to work anymore. And I'm holding my brush back here. I don't pull it up here. I'm not holding it here. I'm pulling it here because I want a free flow of this. So, see, it just kind of gives a little bit more of a flow that's a little less crazy looking. Alright, let's see. I want to get some more grasses in the background there also. So I'm going to go into some of my light green here, my light yellow green. Just pull some up and through here. Alright, notice here, I really don't like the way this is looking here. I'm going to go in. Now, I am holding it close now because I want this to come down. To leave, and it needs to come down there. Make it a little more dark so it shows up some more. Alright, that's good. Alright, so let's see, what else do we need to get in here? What else? Okay, you know what else? I want to put a couple leaves. Well, like how I put this one in here. Let me do that over here. There's like a leaf. And it's just like, comes around like this. Because this comes up, okay? And then inside that, it's light. Where did I put that leaf? Oh, right here. So this is all light. Then it just kind of connects to something, but I don't know what. It's off to the side, whatever it is. So let's get a little dark in there so we can see it. But it's a folded leaf kind of thing. Off into the sunset. It's a little darker in here. Oops. Ooh. That's not good. That is not good. All right, let me get some green, brown. You can see this. Oh, it might not show now. There we go. All right. I think I want to highlight that one leaf also that I did before. This one here, so that you can see it, just to give it a little pizzazz here. And get some of that green. Kind of like pull it through here, because you want to be able to see that. And I guess my hooker's green is getting a little worn out, so I'm going to put a little tad more out. Don't want to put too much out because I don't want to waste it. I'm almost done here, so I don't want to waste it. And I think this will be my final piece right here. I mean, my final touch right here. There we go. I hope you can join me for my next painting. We're going to do a couple of Valentine's Day paintings. And I have to do one for a paint party, so I might just use that for you guys too. It'll probably be an enjoyable little painting. Well, they won't be as hard as this. This was a little bit of a hard painting, so if you mastered this one, and if you have mastered it, I would love to see some of them. I would just love it. Would be great. I'll get some yellow ones in here if I can. Kind of give it a little bit of a oomph here. See if I can get some in through here. A couple little yellows. And I wished I had a better brush. I can't. Wait, what's this? Don't know if this is going to work. This is a little bit thick, but we'll see if I can get this to do something. Just sort of like a filbert. Oh yeah, that's good. Yeah, you can see some of this. Anyways. Alright, let's see if I can get some of the green. Yeah, that kind of helps a little. Okay. Because in this painting there's grasses that are growing up into the area here. We want those to show up a little. Okay, let's see if we can get some in here. We don't want to overdo it, but we want to indicate that there are grasses in this area here. get some darker ones. Dark. Get a little bit more dark in through here. Right, and then let's get some, let's get some raw sienna too in here. A couple little ones with the raw sienna. Okay. Kind of gives it a little texture. Because they're not all going to be green. Okay. Now, I'm going to get some dark in there. I don't want all that being so bright. Because that's where your eye's going to go if it's bright like that. So we want to kind of trim that down. Trim it down. Make it look, there we go. Well, I think we have our Lupins. And I think we can sign it. I'm going to try to sign it with my brush this time. See how that works. I'm going to use the bright green. Let's see what happens. If I can get it in here. And I'm going to just stick it over on this side. I'm just going to put my initials. There we go. I think we're finished, and I think it turned out really nice, and I hope you like it too. And like I said, I'd like to see some of your paintings of the Lupins and see how you turned yours into this painting. Of course, the transfer or the stencil is on my website. It's Mary Dunn Pittsburgh Artist // capital P, capital A, capital S _ traceables. You should be able to find that on the internet. So, and you sometimes I put them on Pinterest, but I didn't put this one on Pinterest. So, and until next time, happy painting!